Alrighty, people. Just back with another video. I know it's been a little bit. What I wanted to talk about tonight. It is almost 11 o'clock in the p.m. and I am up, guarding myself and making sure that I'm protected because this is how I have to live. Um, I live in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where the police basically failed me, and whatever laws and rights you think you have as a person here in this United States of America, it's all just a mirage. Uh, I'm a living proof of that. It's really funny though because I have a lot of people who just keep doubting, and the fact that this is real and this is happening to me. I find that real crazy. Even targeted individuals, so-called targeted individuals, and even the ones that say they are, have been really, really cold-blooded in their responses, toward some of the videos that I put out about my ordeal and what I'm dealing with, which is really, really um, very disappointing. I don't know, how many women are going to be listening to this, but as a woman, when you've been raped. You know what I mean? Like, when you've had sex. When anything like that is taking place with you. I'm not a man, so I don't know what it's like for a man, but I'm sure that if you were anally raped as a man, you would know it. Even if you were drugged and, you were not conscious for the ordeal, you're going to know, hey, something happened to me. And I'm sure it wasn't just somebody that stepped on your back. The difference between, someone roughing you up and you actually being penetrated in your anus, especially if you're not a gay man. So I just find it very shocking that, the responses that I've had have been very, like I said, nonchalant. But then again, we are living in a Second Timothy world. I'm not surprised from that perspective, but I am surprised when it comes from those that claim to be targeted individuals, that claim to understand the darkness that we're under, and the things that we're dealing with. They come on, talking all this yin yang about, these reptilian cops and, all this, made for television lingo. But then when you have someone saying that they've been raped and they're being, chronically raped, it's, oh, well, you probably crazy. I find that very, very sad. But at the same time, I guess it doesn't matter. It doesn't count until it's happening to you. But, I digress. So, again, today, like I said, I had gone to the police and made a report. And I've been doing that, not because I think that they're going to do their job, because they're a part of this. They are participating. They're being paid. They're gaining monetary benefits from this, and they're also participating in assaulting, and they're disgusting men. So they're not human beings when it comes to that sort of thing. So I wanted to come on and do this video, and these are just basically for my documentation, because I do have every intent on continuing on and fighting this particular part of my gang stalking, because this is outrageous, and I'm not going to continue to live like this. I'm either going to take somebody out and go to prison, or this is going to be dealt with. I'm really open for whichever. But so I'm doing this for my documentation, so that once I take this information to the many people that I have intentions on going to about this ordeal, and then there's documentation that I'm not a prostitute. I'm not soliciting sex. I am not okay with this. I'm not consenting to this. This is rape. It has been rape and assault from day one. And I've gone to, hospitals, I've gone to police, and nobody's doing anything. And one thing I think is really funny is that the other day I called this detective to see, where they gone and how far they gone on the investigation, which is just laughable because, like I said, I've been here and done that. And for the most part, I already know the routine. I know they're not going to do anything because they're involved. But again, I'm doing this for my record, showing that I am going to these so-called law enforcement and letting them know what's happening to me, what I'm going through, and what I'm dealing with, and that this is something that is not consented. It is not consensual. I do not consent. I have never consented, and this is all assault, illegal crime. But I found it really funny that the statement was made when I spoke to this detective, asking him how far along they come. Number one, he hadn't even sent off the kit, the rape kit. So he's telling me, oh, so we're going to send the rape kit off, and and this is 2 weeks after the incident. Not only that, but then I started asking him questions about, okay, so then what kind of investigation are you going to be doing? Because I haven't spoken with you. And normally, I'm not a cop. And, I've not been in a lot of situations where I've been around policemen, but I do know that normally there's some kind of a conversation being had between you and that detective about, further information about the incident, taking the time to go to these places, these locations where this incident took place, where this crime took place, getting surveillance information, talking to the people that are in that area, that environment, seeing if there was anyone that was an eyewitness, all these things, interviewing the person that, I know was involved with the situation, and, seeing exactly what took place as far as what he would say took place, and nothing's being done. Like I said, I'm not surprised, but at the same time, it's like these are things that I, as a civilian, would think would be done in a case, and more importantly, surveillance tapes. You don't even need to have a full-on investigation if you just go pull the surveillance tapes, and you will see what happened, because it did indeed happen. But the fact that you don't want to do something as simple as going to this environment where this person was violently, raped and drugged and raped in her privacy and in her space, and say, okay, there was an assault that was allegedly taking place here in your parking lot, or here on your property. Let's review the video to see if this person is really crazy or if this person is telling the truth. Real simple. But you'd rather have these people calling someone crazy and saying that you're hallucinating and you've dreamt the whole thing up. Who wants to sit up and dream up being chronically raped? What kind of listen, I have a degree in psychology, so I understand full well psychosis. I understand full well, I'm sure just as well as any other psychologist out there, especially when you have personal experience with something. Hallucinations don't leave after effects. You don't wake up from a hallucination and have, your genitals in a certain position that they weren't in when you fell asleep. You don't wake up and have KY jelly on your genital areas. What, you got up and slept walked to a store and bought some KY jelly and spread it all over your body and then woke up and said that you were raped? Are you serious? So, like I said, I don't find it strange that people are just numb down to someone telling you that you've been assaulted and raped. I do expect that from men because they don't care. Their penis is just one big brain and they're following it around everywhere it goes. So when a woman says she's been assaulted or she's been raped, they want to go to any other explanation other than the fact that you're living in a world as a female with a bunch of animals who have no self-control. But more importantly, and you're dealing with the situation with gang stalking, where they're taking away and stripping away your liberty and your rights. So now they feel like, okay, well, we can do whatever we want. We're already going in her home, going in her car, going in, we already infiltrated her life, so we can go ahead and rape her too. Take her integrity. Take her dignity. So I just find it, really funny, and not ha-ha funny, that this is the way, the society that we live in, of people, even the so-called TIs and the targeted individuals who, claim to be going through their ordeal, but yet there's still no unity, there's still no brotherhood or sisterhood when it comes to someone else's situation, just because maybe you're not experiencing that. But tell me this, targeted individual men, if you were being raped anally every night, being drugged and raped anally, you'd be in prison. You wouldn't be able to sustain and go further and have a normal, you would be crazy. Because at that point, you'd be in prison. But go through something like that, where you're being stalked and drugged as soon as you fall asleep. Because at some point, you've got to go to sleep. And as soon as you do, you're infiltrated, breaking into your car, breaking into your home. Because these landlords are selling out these front desk hotel reps and cashiers are selling out. These people that are in your family members, they're selling out, giving your car keys to people. You're basically infiltrated. And if you are a true TI, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So when someone comes to you and asks you, well, how'd they get in your house? Did they break in? Trying to make you look crazy, when well, I mean, I don't own this apartment complex. Do I really got to break it down to you? There are at least 3 other people besides myself that have access to my keys. So, again, I'm making this video mostly for myself and not so much for others. But again, I just thought I'd comment on, like I said, the coldness that, the other so-called TIs and their responses to, the things that I've experienced and things that I'm going through, that I've explained. I just find that, it's very disheartening, to say the least. But it is what it is. So